Welcome to the Central PA Property Talk podcast from 717 Homebuyers in Lancaster, PA. We serve Lancaster and all of Central PA. On today's episode, let's discuss a situation we see all the time across Lancaster, York, Harrisburg, Lebanon, Reading, really all of our listening area. A homeowner wants to move, but they feel completely stuck in their current house.
Yeah, like they know it's time to go, but something is holding them in place.
Exactly, and usually it's a combination of things. The house is older, maybe there's a damp basement, mold concerns, outdated systems, or just years of wear. And they're thinking, I don't want to put $20,000, $30,000, even $50,000 into this place just to sell it.
And at the same time, all their money is tied up in that house.
Right, their equity is what they need for the next move. Down payment, closing costs, even qualifying for the next home.
So here's the question I know people are asking. Can you actually sell your house and still live in it?
In some situations, yes. And at 717 Homebuyers, we see this exact problem all the time. So we try to create what we call a convenience-based win-win solution, where a homeowner can sell the house as is, unlock their equity, and still have time to move.
Whoa, wait, what do you mean by that exactly?
Good question. In simple terms, it can involve something called a rent-back option or a post-settlement occupancy agreement.
Okay, those sound official.
What do those actually mean? Plain English, it means you sell your house, the sale closes, you get your money, and then you stay in the home for a short period of time after closing while you figure out your next move.
So you're basically renting the house back for a little while.
Exactly. Same idea. You've already sold it, but instead of moving out immediately, you stay temporarily under a clearly defined agreement.
That makes a lot more sense, because the real fear here is, if I sell, where do I go?
That's the biggest blocker, especially here in Central PA, where a lot of homes are older. Row homes in Lancaster, older properties in York or Harrisburg. People don't want to deal with repairs, showings, and long timelines just to sell.
And listing isn't always easy with those kinds of houses.
Right. In some situations, listing with a realtor absolutely makes sense. But if the house needs work, you're dealing with repairs, inspections, buyer financing delays, and no guaranteed timeline.
So how does 717 Homebuyers approach this differently?
At 717 Homebuyers, we focus on flexibility. We buy houses as is, which means no repairs, no showings, no cleanup. And then we look at the seller's timeline and try to structure something that works for both sides.
Including letting them stay after the sale?
In some cases, yes. That's where that rent-back or post-settlement occupancy comes in, and it's more flexible than people think.
How flexible are we talking?
It depends on the situation, but it could be a couple weeks, 30 days, 60 days, sometimes even up to 90 days. And beyond that, it becomes a conversation.
So it's not just a hard cutoff where someone's getting kicked out.
No, the goal is a win-win. We're not looking to create pressure. We're trying to solve a transition problem. If someone is actively working towards their next move, we'll do everything we reasonably can to work with them.
But I'm guessing this still needs to be clearly defined up front.
100%. This is not something you leave vague. The agreement needs to spell out the timeline, the rent amount, who handles utilities, what condition the property needs to be in, and what happens at move-out.
Because that's how you avoid problems later.
Exactly. Clear expectations on both sides.
Let's talk about the money side, because that's a big driver here.
Sure. Imagine a homeowner in York. We'll call her Lisa. Her house needs about $25,000 in updates to really compete on the market. She owes $160,000 and could sell as is for $240,000.
So around $80,000 in equity.
Right. If she lists, maybe she nets a bit more, but she has to invest time, money, and deal with uncertainty. If she sells as is, she avoids repairs, avoids showings, and unlocks that equity quickly.
Which she can use for the next house.
Exactly. Down payment, moving costs, reserves. And if she has, say, a 60-day rent back, she now has both the money and the time to find the right next place.
That's a completely different situation than feeling stuck.
It is. But it's important to say this isn't for everyone.
Who is this a good fit for?
Homeowners who value speed, simplicity, and flexibility. People dealing with older homes, repairs, relocation, or timing pressure.
And who should probably look at other options.
If your house is fully updated and you want to maximize price, listing might be better. If you need a long-term place to stay after selling, this may not be the right structure. Or you might explore a bridge loan, HELOC, or even selling and renting short-term elsewhere.
So it all comes back to the situation.
Exactly. And for a lot of homeowners across central Pennsylvania, the real problem is being stuck between needing their equity and needing time.
And this is one way to solve both.
It can be. When structured properly, it gives you access to your money and a clear path forward without forcing a rushed move.
So what's the big takeaway?
You may be able to sell your house as is, access your equity, and stay in the home temporarily through a rent-back or post-sale agreement, but it depends on your situation, and the details need to be clearly defined.
And if someone's listening thinking, that's exactly what I need,
Just start with a conversation. At 717 Homebuyers, we'll walk through your situation, explain your options clearly, and help you figure out what makes the most sense, whether that's with us or not. Call 717-321-SOLD or visit 717homebuyers.com.
no pressure, just real answers.
That's the goal. Thank you for listening to the Central PA Property Talk podcast. Be sure to check out all of our Central PA Property Talk podcast topics, and we'll catch you next time.